Set up StrongVPN OpenVPN on ASUS router Merlin Firmware. Before you start, you need to get your VPN account credentials from the StrongVPN's customer area. To log into the customer area, you need to use your email with us as a login. The password is the one that you've created when you first made an order, if you haven't changed it since then, of course. You can log in from the StrongVPN website. There is a link at the top. If that doesn't work, the direct link to the customer area login page is https://intranet.strongvpn.com/services/intranet. If you cannot remember your password, please reset it using this link, https://intranet.strongvpn.com/services/intranet/password_reset. After logging in, hover over VPN accounts at the top, then click the menu item VPN account summary. Click Get OpenVPN config file near the OpenVPN/IPsec account. Scroll down the page and you will find the configuration file. It is required for setup. Please download it. Depending on the OpenVPN server settings, you will either see 1 or 2 download buttons. If you see 2, please download the Linux/Mac config file. Doesn't matter which device you are setting up. Windows config file is used for OpenVPN GUI application setup on Windows system only. If you are using our new type OpenVPN servers, on this page you will also see your account setup credentials, username and password. If you don't see them, just ignore the steps where username and password are mentioned. Please notice, the credentials on the screen above will not work. This is just an example. We recommend to leave account setup instructions window open, since you will need this information for setup. Make sure that you have credentials at hand until you finish. This tutorial is intended to be used on ASUS WRT Merlin firmware. At the top of the router interface web page you will see the image of a wizard hat entitled Powered by ASUS Merlin as it's shown on the picture below. If you don't have such image, it means that your router has stock firmware. Both firmware interfaces are very similar, and you should use ASUS router stock firmware OpenVPN VPN setup tutorial. If you follow the instructions for ASUS WRT Merlin firmware on your router stock firmware, you will miss the necessary steps that should be done to prevent the DNS leak, and some services will not work. Default information: default router IP address, 192.168.1.1 username, admin password, admin Wi-Fi 2.4 GHz network name, SSID ASUS Wi-Fi 5 GHz network name, SSID ASUS_5G Wi-Fi password is not set by default. Please note, if you do not see the ASUS_5G network, it means that your ASUS router either doesn't support the 5.8 GHz band, for example, ASUS RTN10P does not support it, or the receiving device, computer, phone, tablet etc., has no 5.8 GHz wireless support. In this case, use the ASUS network. 1. Connect to the ASUS router via an Ethernet cable or wirelessly. The computer should be cabled to a LAN port of the VPN router or connected to ASUS or ASUS_5G network. Open up your web browser, type in 192.168.1.1 in the address bar and hit enter. It will prompt you to enter the username/password. The default values are admin, username, and admin, password. Once you log in, go to VPN option in the left-hand side menu. Select OpenVPN Clients tab. In the Select Client Instance field, choose Client 1. Click Choose File button in the Import.open file field. This config file you have already got from the customer area at the beginning of this tutorial. If you are not sure where to get it, scroll up the page, you will find the instructions there. 2. Now. You need to select the .open config file to upload it on the router. This window will be different depending on your system. Once you've selected the file, click OK or Open button whatever you have. 3. Once you imported the file, click the Upload button. 4. If you are using our new OpenVPN servers, basically if your config file name starts with STR letters, you will need to fill the username and password. Username and password are your credentials that you obtained from the customer area before. Do not use SXXXXXX and XXXXXXXXXXX. These are just examples. If you don't see these fields, just ignore this step. In the Advanced Settings section, you may be needed to scroll down the page, select Strict for Accept DNS configuration. Choose All in Redirect Internet Traffic field. Click Apply button. 5. Switch on the service state, it will activate the VPN connection. 6.2. Be sure if you are successfully connected, please visit strongvpn.com and check your IP address at the top of the page. Done. You are connected. Connecting the OpenVPN on ASUS WRT Merlin firmware, go to VPN and then OpenVPN Clients tab. Switch on the service state. Disconnecting the OpenVPN on ASUS WRT Merlin firmware, go to VPN and then OpenVPN Clients tab. Switch off the service state.